Howdy everyone, it's Sam. I hope you're doing really well. If you're new around here, I hope I can get you to consider liking the content and subscribing to the channel by the end of the video. And if you are a regular around these here parts, thank you so much for the continuous support. Cowboys 26, Brisbane Broncos 6, and it didn't look like that was going to be the scoreline that was going to head our way as these two sides duked it out at a very wet BB Prince Stadium up in Mackay. The Cowboys leaked the first points, and it was Brisbane Broncos up 6-0 with a deft little kick from Tyson Gamble in for a grubber kick for one of his edge forwards as well. And then the Cowboys just wrestled the momentum. They, whilst they made more handling errors than Brisbane throughout the game, they wrestled back momentum and they put in a pretty good showing. But I've got to try and keep a lid on it because it is just a trial after all. Brisbane were missing a handful of players, and North Queensland were missing a handful of players themselves too. And if I just excuse myself for a moment, I'm going to deep dive into the chat. G'day, Mr. CJ Moxley. Congrats on the win. Just driving back to Sydney now. Please stay safe, CJ, bro. And Rugby League Roundup. Yo, Cowboys and Dragons on fire tonight. And yeah, they were, man. Liam Cowboys. You're a Cowboy supporter too, bro. Up North Queensland, mate. And it's Bosky. Thank you so much for the continuous support, man. You're always in the chat whenever I'm going. And Paddy G says, Sammy, book your grand final tickets. Maybe, bro, maybe. So the scoring for the North Queensland Cowboys got underway about 15 minutes in, and I pinpoint a moment where Hylam Lukey touched the ball for the first time in the entire match throughout the first 15, 17 odd minutes. And as soon as he touched the ball, man, it's like a light bulb went off and Cowboys just went direct, hard and fast. And even though it was a haphazard sort of clunky old play, Chad Townsend received the ball from dummy half and he had it fall back behind him. But then Hammer used his magic and put in a little grubber for himself and scored the first try of the game as well. Paddy G says buy in. I might have to, mate. And Paris, love an early season run. And that's from the comment from Paris on fire. Yeah, let's just try and keep a lid on it, hey, guys. And then the scoring continued on into the next try with Valentine Holmes scoring the next try from a lovely cheeky little pass from Tom Dearden. Valentine Holmes scoring a nice well-organised try there. And then, so my first half performance from the Cowboys, I'd probably rate a 7 out of 10. Errors were not good, but they were defensively tight-knit. They were stuck together like a good unit should be. And for me, I think Ruben Cotter and Reece Robson and Tom Dearden stole the show in the first half. In the second half, we'll get into it now, actually. So in the second half, Kyle Felt really got things going off for us well. He looked to have sustained an injury in the second half. And then there was a really good kick from, I think it was Dearden or maybe it was Townsend. I think it was Townsend, actually. It was on the fourth tackle, and Kyle Felt chased after the kick. And because it's wet conditions, Kyle Felt chased after it, and we got a repeat set of 6 out of it. And then the dropout came. We scored a try from that repeat set through Murray Tuolangi with some nice interchange of passing from Drinkwater, who came on in the second half, to Val, then out to Murray Tuolangi. And then, if you all remember the Leichhardt Oval try that Drinkwater and Murray Tuolangi conjured up last season, we saw shades of it where Drinky put a kick up and then Murray Tuolangi bounced on an unwanted ball from the Brisbane Broncos defence and then he scored a double. So just some other key notes. So other key notes as well. Chad Townsend's kicking game, he kicked for over 390 metres. I thought Chad Townsend really stood up. He played, 50 odd minutes, maybe 55 minutes. And I thought as our co-captain, he looked really good. And I think our spine is going to be somewhat underrated coming into the season now. I know I've got to try and keep a lid on it. It's just a trial game. But the interchange of passing between Townsend and Dearden, and then Townsend and Drinkwater, with Hammer floating around the back with Reece Robson as our dummy half, we looked really good. And I'll say this, right? I'll say this. I should save this till the last piece. But that's probably the best performance North Queensland have put in probably 18 months, I'd say. It was that good. But again, I've got to try and keep a lid on it. So my man of the match, well, hang on. Let's go down from 3. My number 3 would be Murray Tuilagi. Murray Tuilagi, I'll just find the stats here for you guys. Murray Tuilagi, he had 65 post-contact meters. He was tackled more than any other Cowboy on the paddock, with 16 tackles on him. He scored 2 tries. I don't think he dropped the ball at all. He even made a really good defensive play by making sure Selwyn Cobbo, who I cannot wait to see more of that young man this season, he stopped Selwyn Cobbo by grabbing onto his shoelaces and ensuring that his fellow Cowboys came out and dragged him out from a slippy surface up there at Mackay. So I'd have Murray Tuilagi as my number 3 best on field. My number 2, Tom Gilbert, our second rower. He made a fool out of me. I put out my game day squad, best game day squad 1 to 17, probably on Monday, I think it was. And I had Tom Gilbert as my 19th man. Well, Mr. Gilbert, who wore number 12, played about 60, maybe 65 minutes straight. And Tom Gilbert made 23 tackles, 56 post-contact meters, 14 hit-ups, or 14 times he was tackled with the ball. And yeah, he made a couple of errors, but there was always this underground talk that he's an 80-minute player and he's an edge-back rower. And just I hadn't simply seen it. I don't think anyone had really seen it before, because he was just a big forward cutting it up the middle sort of thing for the past year or so. But boy, howdy, he was immense tonight, Tom Gilbert, and I'd have him my second best on ground. And look, he didn't make as many tackles, he didn't make as many hit-ups, but I thought the man of the match tonight was Reuben Cotter. I thought Reuben Cotter was so good tonight. I know he had a spell for about 15 odd minutes, maybe 20 minutes. Reuben Cotter made 32 tackles, carted the ball up 14 times, and just he was almost in every frame. And I know that there's some people out there that are screaming, Tom Dearden, Tom Dearden. But yeah, no, Tom Dearden, man, I'd probably put him at number 4. And then I'd have Reuben Cotter at first. So, yeah, no, Tom Dearden didn't make as many tackles or his hit-ups of the ball as the other guys, and that's why I probably put him down in my 4th position. I thought Murray Tuilagi for a winger was really influential. I thought Tom Gilbert had a standout performance. He was easily the best forward on the field, or at least in my opinion anyway. And then Reuben Cotter was just immense. I thought he was so good, man. And just as what Paddy Chi... let's go into the chat, actually, guys, and forgive me, I've never quite done a live review like this before, so I'm learning at the same time. So National Sports Loaded, he's in. Thank you very much for tuning in, good sir. He is a gun. Let's say National Sports Loaded, I know it is a trial, but this is why I put your boys in the top 8. I'm telling you, Cowboys are underrated going into the season. I mean, I can't blame anyone for not having us in the top 8 because of our disastrous couple of seasons. But, it's awesome that you've put them in the top 8. And, yeah, Paddy G also says, do you see Tamalolo fitting right in the front row? Well, yeah, I do, actually. I do. I mean, Jermaine Tanoa-Brown made a good fist of it in the jersey number 8. And I think Cohen Hess had a bit of a quiet game himself, actually. I think Cohen Hess only carted the ball up about 7 times. But defensively, Cohen Hess was very good, actually, tonight. So I think Jason Taumalolo, I think he'll fit right on in. I think he'll be good for us, man. Thoughts on Chad Townsend? Chad Townsend, he was great. He was great in his speech. His kicking game, again, he kicked for 399 meters, which was amazing. And he was kicking the ball on fourth tackle, turning the Brisbane Broncos defense around. And yeah, dude, he did things that we haven't seen in Cowboys colours in a number of seasons now. So I'm really excited by Chad Townsend and his leadership, especially linking up with Dearden and Drinkwater. Mr. Pete Vreto's in, promising signs for the Cowboys, good stepping stone for the season, should give them confidence to play well for each other. That's really well said, bro. That's really well said. Their defence, they've now only leaked 18 points. It's only a trial, but they've only leaked 18 points. And considering they were the worst side in defence last season, that's already a step in the right direction. I've asked a couple of people over the past few weeks, where's an area from last season that you want to see improved? What do you think was a weakness from last year that you want to see improved on in 2022? And immediately it seems like that the Cowboys have identified the problem that has been, and they've only leaked 3 tries, and one of them was from a kick as well. So they're really sticking up for one another, aren't they? And Paddy G, Cowboys low-key have a halves problem after that trial. Dude, 100% Paddy G, 100%. And National Sports Loaded. I did see a good assist from Dearden tonight. Dearden was very good tonight, but he's not my man of the match. I'd go Dearden in 4th position. I'd go Murray Tuilagi in number 3, Tom Gilbert at 2, and then I'd go Ruben Cotter up at number 1. And then CJ Moxley, we are on to round 1, 100%, guys. So that performance tonight, minus the errors, I'd probably rate that performance much better than last week. I think I was a bit generous with a 7.5 out of 10 for last week's performance. That performance tonight, probably an 8 out of 10, I'd reckon. That was probably the best performance Cowboys have put in about 18 months or so. And just before I go, Liam Cowboy says they've really worked on their defense over the off season, and they have, man. They certainly have, mate. I think it was Dean Young, the assistant coach, or one of the assistant coaches at the Cowboys 2022 season launch, that said something like he's been involved in many, many off seasons, pre-seasons, and he's never been involved in a pre-season that's involved so much tackling. And if the past 2 weeks is anything to go by, strike me pink. It's good signs, really good signs. And I'll just say, Mr. Paddy G, the pen moves Sam from a 8 to a solid 9 on the good looking scale. Yo, bro. So I'll just say this. I'll give you a quick sneaky, I don't know, like a quick little snippet for round 1. The friendship, the bond that Townsend and his halves and everybody else has compared to what the Bulldogs have got with their halves pairings, I think that gives us the edge now after that performance. I think because we're already looking to round 1, as CJ Moxley just said, but after that performance, I think we've got the edge on the Bulldogs because of our halves pairing. I think we've got a classier halves pairing, but I better keep me tips and all that for a couple of weeks' time. Thank you so much to everybody that's joined in tonight. I really wanted to get this out there as quick as possible. And I hope I did a good job. I don't think I've done something like this before, so I hope I did all right. Thank you so much for the continuous support. If you're new around here, I hope I've convinced you to like the content and subscribe to the channel. And Paddy G, well, you know what, Paddy G, I'll get into half an argument here. Don't disrespect Mr. Burton. I'm not disrespecting Mr. Burton, but he's a young man, and he is going to feel all them bricks on top of his shoulders. And he won't be able to do it all by himself, for sure, man. But anyway, I've got to stop myself, mate. Thank you so much. Can't wait for the actual season, as Paddy G alluded to there, and CJ Moxley as well. Thank you, everybody. Take care, and I'll talk to you all next time. Adios.